Quebec Alpha Mike 30, can we get fire rolling please? Somebody's trapped. Some people will have it in their mind that they don't like the police. A lot of people say we are the traditional beat officers, so what we do is walk around all day. We do that, but there's so many different elements to the job. And there's a lot of, I guess, myth busters that we wouldn't mind challenging.
This is
Nice to meet you.
she's all right, but she's trapped.
Yes, okay.
So,
Let me call fire because they'll be the best people to get a car. Oh, so have you got any pains anywhere, any injuries? No, you just obviously you've started. You
quite shocked.
Quebec Alpha Mike 30, can we get fire rolling please? Somebody's trapped. What happened?
I think I was 2 minutes away from my house and I don't really know. I think I just accidentally moved a bit too far into this side and I tried to pull it back, but I don't know what happened.
But I come up here to try and get out the way,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get any further. The pylon was there.
She says she's blacked out. She doesn't remember anything.
She may well have been.
So, yeah.
She was looking.
Yeah.
I could see her face, but she may well have blacked out.
Traffic officers have turned up now, so they'll take over this investigation. Traffic will probably call out their forensic collision investigators, so the road will be closed for a long time. Public respond well to neighbourhood policing because we feel more like people to them. We listen to what their wants and needs are. They feel like they can talk to us about what they're experiencing. We send out a survey for neighbourhood policing to identify where the communities want us to be focusing our efforts. Speeding operations is something that's been identified as a priority, and this main road has been identified as a priority. We get a lot of issues here. I've always said when paramedics and firefighters show up to an incident, everyone's really happy to see them, but that's not always necessarily the case. As a police officer, sometimes people don't like us, and that then sort of makes me feel a bit sad because we are still experiencing the same thing as other emergency services. We attend a lot of crimes, but we also attend a lot of concerns for welfare, sudden deaths, mental health incidents, things like that, and that's not spoken about. I think that's what a lot of people still see the police as, that's responding to something rather than necessarily being there to prevent something, which is what we want to do as neighbourhood officers. So we're here today to do a clear car campaign. So this is a popular dog walking spot, but also somewhere at night where a lot of cars like to park up. So what we do is we go around and look in people's cars, see if there's any valuable items left on show. If there is, we then note the number plate down, email them and say, by the way, just to make you aware, you're in a crime hotspot area and you left this valuables on show. We just want to try and prevent this from happening in the future. Some expensive shoes, coats, and paperwork with their details on, things like that. So we then say, look, I now know your name and address just from reading something on the back seat, so maybe don't leave it. Unfortunately, this can be a popular dogging hotspot. So when we come up here in the evening, it's a knock on the window and maybe you shouldn't be doing that because it can, in circumstances, amount to outraging public indecency. Antisocial behaviour is a problem that's really felt by a lot of people because it is very visible crime, and that's why shoplifting is such an important issue as well, because obviously people are seeing that happen. It's about showing that that is also an important issue to us, even if it's dealt with on a lower level in the term of a criminal outcome. This is again on our hotspot patrol. So this is where we get a lot of groups of young people come, especially at the end of school time. We've had a lot of incidents of either Coke bottles being thrown at the door, knock and run, shouting, like that kind of group mentality. We like to go with the high visibility deterrent approach. While we're doing our patrols around here, noticing if anything's been dumped, we generally do sweeps as well for stolen items because they're sometimes dumped in this park. So we have a pocket notebook, we write down everything that we're doing, because then obviously if we get a frequent report in the future, we can hang on that day, that happened as well. So maybe it is probably the same people and they are causing problems. Crime mapping is what I would call it. It's mapping what you're happening in your area at all times. A day where I feel like a successful day is when I can look back and say I safely did everything that I thought I could today. So how are you feeling?
I'm very cold.
It's quite a significant head injury, and like most days do look like that. They look like going A to B. 1 minute you'll be at a 999 call where they've called you because they need help, and then an hour later you're in a school dealing with young kids, and it's a completely different personality change you've got to kind of put yourself in. And you're always you, and I think people do forget that we are people underneath the uniform. But there's just different ways you portray messages and different ways you say things depending on who your audience is. But a good day for me would be feeling like I did do absolutely everything I could to make a difference.